Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second Ask Me Anything. Here at Ecrates, we have had an amazing couple of days, and I'm really proud of what the Ecrates team and the community, including you, have achieved over these past days. But we are not done yet. And I'm sure that many of you have lots of questions, and I can already see how many are there in the room right now, and we've just about started, so I'm sure there's going to be even more later on. But I'm afraid, looking at the number, that I once again will not be able to answer all the questions that you have, but I will promise to do my best to do so. Before we start, first, let me give you a quick warning. I caught a slight cold, so I apologize in advance if my voice gives up during the AMA, but I will not let that stop me. Also, let me talk for a second about why we are doing this Ask Me Anything today. Every single time we talk, I will tell you how we are going to make eCredits big together. Without you, the community, we will go nowhere. But with you, the sky is the absolute limit. And while we are onboarding thousands of customers every single day right now, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me, eCredits needs more. eCredits needs merchants accepting eCredits. And you, the merchants, are the foundation that allows us to make all of this happen. And for this reason, it is very important to also extend the transparency and clarity that we try to reach for our customers to you, the merchants. And having gone live with the merchant onboarding just a couple of days ago, we received a lot of questions. And as the last Ask Me Anything was, as I would say, quite successful, so thank you for joining last time, and thank you, of course, also for joining this time. What better way to tackle all of these questions than with, once again, another Ask Me Anything? So let us get into it. If you have been here last time, you know how it works. But here's a quick recap. This is our virtual living room. This is where we get together and discuss any topics that you would like to discuss on a very informal way, directly from me to you. And first, as last time, I will start with some questions that were sent to us via our social media channels before the AMA started. And once I'm done with these, if we still have sufficient time left, I will start answering questions that you can post right here, right now on the chat. And I can see a lot of you are already using that, so we are having quite a couple of questions coming in. So I'm looking forward to getting to them later on. But as I said, first we will start with the questions that were sent up front. With that said, without further ado, let's go. The first question that I received is from Milan. And Milan asked, hello, I tried to register myself, a company, and it looks like it is done, even I did not finish the confirmation. Yet I did not get any feedback email or message. Also, I did not find any information about fee structure, so I have no idea what fees will apply when I accept the payment. Any direction where to find it? Thanks. So 2 questions in that essentially. The first one, and I would like to make that a rule for the rest of the AMA, if you have a question that is concerning your account specifically, like you're not sure if you've finished onboarding or you're not sure if everything works as it's supposed to be, please contact support@ecredits.com, where our support team is always happy to help you. Regarding the fee structure, that is listed in our support portal. So in a second, I will post a link where you can actually see the detailed fee structure. Right here, it's coming. And so just a couple of words about that. Generally, for a transaction that is done towards a merchant, we charge 0.5% no matter how small the transaction is. So you can easily use eCredits for microtransactions as well. And keep in mind that if you want to exchange eCredits, for example, to euro, you would have to add the exchange fees to that. Let's stick to the example that is mostly used right now, which is block trade. So there you have an exchange or a trading fee of 0.3%. That makes 0.8% in total, which is much cheaper than any credit card you can get. But just to emphasize on this, at eCredits directly, we charge 0.5% flat. So and I can see that Michael is saying, thanks a lot for doing this AMA session. Happy to be here. Michael, I'm very happy to have all of you here. It's great to be doing this again, and I hope once again this is not going to be the last time we're doing this. So on to the next question that is coming from Panos. Hello, please inform me about the procedure of inviting a merchant and how merchants connected with my invitation. So there's a couple of options. that you have when it comes to inviting people in general. You have the invitation via email, where an email is automatically sent to the invitee. Then you have a QR code that you can generate, and essentially the invitee just needs to scan the QR code with any QR code reader, and they get the invitation. And the last one is you can generate a link and send that to the invitee. And if the invitee clicks that, he is automatically added as the invitee of yours. However, and that is important, and that is something that everybody should be aware of, unfortunately, we had some problems over the last week with QR codes and links. So if an invitee that you have invited via QR code or a link does not show up for you, please contact, once again, support@ecredits.com, and they will take care of that. We will send out a notification once everything works again. This should not take longer than a couple of days. But for now, you can use the email invitation. That works perfectly fine. Or you just wait a couple of days until QR codes and links are online again, because right now you cannot use them as they are. But as I said, this will take a couple of days, and then we're online with QR codes and invite links again. The next question is from Susanna, and it's actually a couple of questions. My questions are: how can I invite merchants? What is the procedure of invitation and connection? Is the merchant onboard available in every country where eCredits is usable? And as an ambassador, how can I get a reward for new merchant connections? Thanks for answering. Have a nice day. Best wishes, Susanna. Thanks, Susanna, for the question. Generally, to become an ambassador, you need to finish the ambassador course and have an according subscription. And that is something I would like to put an emphasis on, because I see a lot of people finishing the course, but then not having a subscription. So you can get a subscription at portal.ecredits.com, sign up with your account. You have a subscription tab there, and there you can get a subscription. Do not forget to get that subscription, so you will not lose any of those rewards that you can get. You can then, after finishing the ambassador e-learning course and having the subscription, invite merchants in any country where eCredits is usable. So if eCredits is available to the people in that country, you can also invite merchants there. As an ambassador, you get your activity rewards immediately. Your eCredits rewards will be paid out on a monthly basis. And then we have a name that has also been very active in general over the last couple of weeks, and we've also seen him in the last AMA. That is Aaron. And Aaron has quite a couple of questions, and I will try to go through all of them. The first question that Aaron asked is, can you talk about how the ecosystem will show invoices and the tax part to the merchant when receiving transactions in ECS? So right now we do have some reports that merchants can get, but we're currently fleshing out a merchant dashboard, which will allow merchants to download extensive reports containing all sales and all the informations that essentially a merchant could ever need. And without saying too much about that yet, I currently have plans to also integrate a fully fledged text solution, so merchants can just generate their documents from their dashboard and send them straight from the app. But that's something that I will definitely be talking more about in the future when it is a bit closer. The next question is, how long does the onboarding process take? And how long does it take for the store to be visible on the map? That's easy to answer. The onboarding process takes a couple of minutes. And once the store is created, it is immediately visible on the map. The next question is, how many months does the subscription last after it has been activated? So generally, it does last 1 year. Sometimes there will be special offers where we might extend how long it lasts and where we might extend the duration of a subscription. The next question is, how exactly does the quick trade function work? That's a good question, and I will not only answer that, but I will also go into a bit of detail about the instant exchange and the quick trade function and what the difference between them is. So generally, quick trade, as the name says, allows you to quickly trade your funds from the e-wallet app. Essentially, what it is doing is it is providing some buttons that allow you to control your account at an external exchange. So you can transfer, buy and sell eCredits directly from the e-wallet app, which makes it, of course, much easier to manage your funds. That is the quick trade functionality. Then additionally, and that is important for merchants, in the future, there will be an instant exchange functionality. And instant exchange means that there will be a setting for merchants where they can say, I would like to have all the eCredits or a certain percentage of the eCredits that I get when I sell a good exchanged to euros right away. And this will be done automatically and immediately, so there's no volatility risk. There's no risk of eCredits going up or down, but the merchants, if they sell a good for 10 euros, they will get the 10 euros out of it. And the reason we're doing this is because, of course, merchants, if they sell a good for 10 euros, they would like to have the 10 euros on their account at the end of the day because they need to pay their suppliers for that. And that is the idea behind quick trade and instant exchange, to allow for merchants to essentially use their funds in the way that they want and have the exposure to the volatility of eCredits or other cryptocurrencies that we might offer in the future in the way and in the amount that they want. The next question is, can I also use Bitcoin and Ethereum to make my purchases through the eCredits wallet? If yes, what would be the process to do this? So right now, this is not possible yet. However, I've said in the past that we are currently working on that. So we are going to implement other cryptocurrencies into the e-wallet. And the plan for the release of the first of these cryptocurrencies is the third quarter of 2022. And essentially, this will allow you to store Ethereum and Bitcoin and maybe other cryptocurrencies in your wallet, just in the same way as right now you are storing eCredits. And what that allows us to do is to compete with wallets of other currencies as well, because we can bring the user experience that we strive for eCredits to other cryptocurrencies. We can bring the map that we have, we can bring the merchant integration, and so on and so forth. And also, of course, this allows merchants to accept any cryptocurrency that we offer. And on the other hand, it will also allow us to bring attention of Ethereum users to the whole eCredits ecosystem and convince them of the advantages that we undeniably do have. And the last question that Aaron asked is, why should a merchant care about the eCredits ecosystem and what are its advantages? This is an excellent question, and I could talk about this question alone for probably about an hour. So I will try to keep this short and break it down to some keywords. And what I will break it down to is 3 advantages that every merchant can immediately see, and every merchant knows if they accept credit card. The first one is our fees are lower. We charge a fee of 0.5%. Even if you add an exchange fee, we're still quite a bit less expensive than credit cards. The second advantage is we're much faster. So what people that do not use credit cards or do not have credit cards as a merchant often do not know is that merchants very often rely on liquidity management. So they have to pay, of course, for the goods, they have to pay their suppliers so that they can essentially then sell these goods. And what happens very often with credit cards is it takes some business days in the best case, and in some cases even weeks, for the merchants to get the actual funds on their account. And that is time that the merchant cannot invest their money, their funds, in stocking their stores or growing their business. And while it takes a couple of business days, or in some bad cases, even weeks with credit cards to get the funds to your account, with eCredits, it takes a mere couple of seconds. So within a couple of seconds, the funds are on your wallet. You can use them right away. You can reinvest them. You can restock your store. You can exchange them. It just takes a couple of seconds and not days, not weeks. That's a thing of the past. And the third one is, and that is something that merchants that are primarily online know, chargebacks are quite a problem. What is a chargeback? A chargeback is essentially when a customer comes to the credit card company and tells them, I have a transaction on my credit card that I am not sure who has done it. I think it might be fraudulent. I think my credit card data has been stolen. And essentially what happens then is the credit card company starts an investigation, and very often they do a so-called chargeback where they essentially remove the funds from the merchant's account, and the merchant has to pay for that, even though they might have already provided the goods or the services. And of course, that costs the merchant quite a lot of money. eCredits, this is a thing of the past once again, because as long as the user does not give anyone their private key, and I cannot emphasize this enough, do not ever give anybody your seed phrase, do not ever give anybody your private key. As long as that does not happen, there is no mathematically realistic way that their funds can be stolen. And if that did not convince you, we do have an inbuilt loyalty system. I'm pretty sure most of you know about it. It's called eActivity. And that does not only reward the customer, it also rewards the merchant. So we have quite a couple of advantages, and that's just the super short summary. As I said, I could talk about this for an hour alone. So thanks, Aaron. Once again, there was some very interesting questions. Highly appreciated. And Rogerio, that's also a name that I remember from last time. So thanks for being here again. And he writes, thank you for everything. You're the best for the job. Thank you very much. Of course, I had to read that out loud. And yeah, it's great to have you in the community. It's great to have all of you people here in the community. I highly appreciate every single one of you. So the first question that he had is, where are we going, or where do you see we are going with eCredits? And I'm not entirely sure what exactly you would like to know. If you would like to know a price prediction, I already said last time, you're never gonna get this from me. So I'm just gonna go with the easy way to answer this. My plan is to go to the moon for a quick lunch break before we continue to the Mars. The second question is, when will plugins for e-commerce come? I just want to quickly implement it to my website. As mentioned last time, I'm very careful when giving out dates. But in this case, what I can tell you is plugins will come soon. And when I say soon, I mean very soon. So the exact release date will definitely be announced in the next couple of weeks. Keep your eyes and ears open, follow our social media channels, and you will definitely not miss it. It's around the corner. The third question is, when will merchandise stickers, for example, be available? So we are slowly ramping this up, and I will tell you something that I haven't said before. We actually have the first couple of stickers in our office. And I do like the question, so how about we make this a bit of a spontaneous game? Most of you know that I'm in the Telegram group, so I would suggest that the first 10 merchants that send me a private message right now will get a sticker pack, will get some merchandise sent to you. Just send me a private message right now. The first 10 merchants that do this will get a sticker pack. So start at it right now. I think my phone is on mute, so it will not start vibrating like crazy, but go at it now and I will have a look later on, and the first 10 will get a sticker pack. The fourth question is, sorry about that. I know that you have a background in blockchain gaming. Do you see something possible with eCredits in this field, gaming? So that is correct. Yes, one of my last companies was in the blockchain gaming field. I do not have any plans for that currently, but the beautiful thing about eCredits is that everyone can do with it whatever they want. So if any of you out there decides that they would like to build some game on eCredits, or maybe build something for the metaverse or similar topics, you have my full support. And who knows what the future will bring. From my past, I know that gaming and esports is a massive thing worldwide. And I mean, just to strain some facts here, for example, more people under the age of 14 in the USA can identify with esports than with American football. So that is a very big thing. So who knows, maybe at some point it will also become interesting for us. We will see. So thanks for these questions. The next question comes from Christoph. And the question is, I want to run a validator node. My setup is finished, like in the description. What are the next steps? Many thanks, Chris. That is amazing. I love to hear how intensely some of you read into the ecosystem, look into what we're doing, look into how it is set up. Great job on doing that. Great job on following the documentation so far. Thank you very much. So new nodes are added via the SCE, so via the people's SCE, or via the community. And there are already some decentralized nodes running, and soon we will open this up to everyone who becomes a member of the SCE. More on that will follow in the very near future. So once that happens in the very near future, you are ready to go, and we will definitely send out some communication about that. Once again, follow our social media channels. You are ready, and this is amazing to see. Thanks for that again. So the next question is coming from M, that is the name I have here. Hello, Bernhard. My question is about the predicted market value of eCredits. What is the plan? When are you going to raise the value above 2 cents? What are the expectations, predictions for the future? And when is the currency available on sites like Etoro or Binance? A couple of things here, and I think I've answered quite a bit of that in the last AMA already. The first one is, you will never get a price prediction from me, simply because it would not be serious if I could, or if I would give one, because it depends on demand, it depends on supply. We do not and will never influence or control the price of eCredits. So I cannot give you a prediction, and nobody out there can give you an actual prediction for what is going to happen. What I can tell you is, if we get more merchants online, if we can get more users online, that means there is more demand for eCredits, and that usually means that the price will rise. That I can tell you. So if we can get more users, if we can get more merchants, that will not be to anybody's disadvantage. Then regarding the value above 2 cents, we are right now at, I would argue, substantially above 2 cents. So yeah, that has happened already. When is the currency available on sites like Etoro or Binance? That is a topic I have also touched in the last AMA, and I will happily touch it again. When we talk about listing eCredits on other exchanges, one of the most important things is we do want exchanges that are on a properly regulated market, that know what they're doing, that do fulfill all the AML guides. So AML stands for anti-money laundering guidelines, and that are essentially serious exchanges that are known to the regulators in the markets that we operate in. And for example, Binance is trying to get that done. They are working on that, but they are not just there yet. So right now, for the time being, we do not have an intention to get listed on Binance. However, we are looking to other exchanges. We are working on that actively. I cannot give you a timeline for that because, of course, it does not only depend on us, it also depends on third parties, meaning the exchanges. So once that is happening, of course, once again, we will inform you, but unfortunately, I cannot give a timeline because it's not solely dependent on us. The next question we have is, hello, Bernhard, and thank you for this opportunity. My question is concerning the eCashback. How is it going to be credited as a respective fiat currency or as ECS? So right now the plan is, and that doesn't mean it will always be that way, but right now the plan is that eCashback will work when you pay with eCredits, and then it will also be credited in eCredits simply because that makes sense, right? The next question is coming from Ruben. Hello, Bernhard, few questions in order to help implement it in merchants. Number one, is it possible for the merchant to receive automatically in euros, or the third-party exchange, block trade for now, needs to have some manual trade? So I think I've explained that with the quick trade and instant exchange features. So yes, it will be possible to automatically get credited in euros once the instant exchange feature goes live. You will have the option of turning on the instant exchange, which will exchange your eCredits to euros immediately once they arrive on your account. And thus you can control how much exposure to cryptocurrencies, like for example, eCredits, you would like to have. The second question is the liquidity guaranteed for the merchant to take it to the bank account? So eCredits is a free market, so there will be a spread and there might be a slippage because that's how free markets work. However, with the volumes that we're currently seeing over the past couple of days, I expect liquidity not to be an issue. Additionally, of course, on a market that works well, there are also market makers active, and they're working on the eCredits pairs to ensure that there will not be any liquidity issues. The third question is, how is it guaranteed that the price of eCredits will be the same for the merchants as they sell the goods for, so that they do not lose money in the process? Will the price oscillate in the market, or is it pegged in some way for the merchants? And we actually got a similar question from Victor. I will also read that. Due to cryptocurrencies fluctuating up and down constantly, how will you ensure that the exact amount in euros is being paid out that we can withdraw to our bank accounts? If this is not solved, then this is going to create a nightmare in bookkeeping and thus drive the cost for it to the level where the benefit of accepting eCredits is eliminated because of the extra time, cost, confusion to get the book straight. Thank you. So amazing question, really well thought out. And of course, we thought of that and we do totally agree with that. And this is the reason why we solved the problem. So first of all, because the question was, is eCredits pegged? No, eCredits is not a stable coin. There's no pegging. There's no euro reserves that are pegging eCredits. But of course, we do understand that for merchant reliability, it is important, which is why we have two features. and I already talked about them, but just so it's super clear, I will go over them again. There is Quick Trade, and that allows merchants to exchange eCredits with one click of a button after receiving funds. And that will be that is what is there right now. And very soon there will also be instant exchange, which automatically exchanges eCredits to a currency of the merchant's choice on the free market, thus removing any volatility risk from the merchant because it's done instantly and it's done automatically. So when the merchant sells a good for a certain price, say 10 euros, they will be getting the exact euro amount if they want that once instant exchange is live. And then we have one last question, and I see we're already running out of time, so I will do some overtime definitely here. Christoph is asking, what about the VAT when a merchant sells a product to a customer? Excellent question. So generally, what medium of exchange is used for a purchase does not have any effects on taxation. So if you sell a good for euros and you have to pay 5 euros in VAT, then you have to pay the same 5 euros if you sell for eCredits. The only thing you have to be careful with is if you decide to hold eCredits and the price increases, this might be subject to capital gains taxes or other taxes depending on your specific and respective jurisdictions. So while we are currently exploring ways to make this a no-brainer to handle, I always recommend just be sure to consult your local tax advisor if you made profits with cryptocurrencies. So that were the pre-made questions. So thanks for all of those. And I can see we have a ton of questions already that were asked live. So what I will do now is I will scroll through them and I will randomly pick some of them and then I will answer those. So first one is more of an organizational question from Anonymous. Is there a possibility to have a recorded video with this AMA? Yes, so we posted the last one on our YouTube channel. So we will do the exact same thing with this one. There will be a video of this on the YouTube channel of Ecrates. So have a look out for that, subscribe to the Ecrates YouTube channel, and within the next couple of days, it will be there. There's a question asking me if I'm single. So I don't think I'm talking about private matters here, but question is highly appreciated. Thanks for that. When will you start converting activity to eCredits? So there is no exact date that we have announced yet, but what I can tell you is it will be this year. And of course, we will give you sufficient time in announcing before we actually go live with that. Then scrolling to the next question. We've partially answered that already. This is coming from Goran. Hi, Bernhard. When will eCredits be listed on other exchanges and when will it be listed on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap? So the exchanges question, I think I've already answered, but the CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap question I've answered partially last time, and it's pretty much the same question. So we are already working on that. How it tends to go is you apply there, then it takes some time for them to evaluate what the currency is doing and how they are set up. Then it takes a while for them to implement it. And this is something that they do in their own pace. So we do not really have an influence on how that is going. We do not really have an influence on that. So I cannot give you a specific date. What I can tell you is we're working on it and soon TM, I guess. Then the next question is from Alicia. What is the raise of eCredits due to? So generally, eCredits is free floating. That means that the more demand there is on the market, the more the price rises, or the more supply there is on the market, the further the price goes down. We have seen quite an increment in the price over the last couple of days. And where this is coming from is one thing and one thing only. There is a lot of people out there that would like to buy eCredits right now. There's more people out there that would like to buy eCredits than there are that would like to sell eCredits, which of course is great because it shows a lot of trust in what we're doing. And I very much appreciate that. Of course, why people buy more eCredits than sell it, that's a matter for a completely different discussion, right? But generally, what I can say is if people would like to purchase goods with eCredits, What do they have to do first? Of course, they have to buy eCredits first, which brings me back to what I said before. The more we can motivate people to actually use eCredits in everyday life, the more the price will be influenced by the demand that they generate simply by buying eCredits for their everyday purchases. So keep that in mind. We can grow eCredits together when we essentially get more people to purchase things in their everyday life and purchase or do their everyday grocery shopping with eCredits. Scrolling to the next question. That is coming from, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing the name correctly, Mihai. How do I connect my eCredits account to BlockTrade? So generally, what you do have on the eCredits app is an exchange tab. When you go there, you can essentially just click through the buttons. To be honest, it's so quick and easy. I do not even remember the exact buttons that I pressed when I connected my account, but it guides you pretty well, I would say. So if you have a BlockTrade account, if you have an account in the eWallet app, it should be relatively straightforward. If you have problems, as per usual, feel free to contact our support team at support@ecredits.com. Then we have another question in all caps lock, so no reason to shout at me like that. I will try to answer all the questions. When will eActivity Priority Edition will be converted into eCredits? Once eActivity have been converted into eCredits, will those eCredits be only for purchasing, or will they also be for converting into other currencies? That question came without a name. So when it will go live, as I said, we will announce that in time. It will definitely happen this year, and you will know about it upfront, and you will know about it in time. Once they can be converted, once the eActivity can be converted to eCredits, you will be able to use them in whatever way you would like to use them. Be it purchasing, be it trading, be it just holding them, you can use them in whatever way you want them, because eCredits are yours and you can use them in whatever way makes sense for you. Oh, I like the next question here. That is coming from JJ from Cat Cafe Tallinn. And JJ, we actually met in Tallinn, I remember. So thanks for being here. Thanks for asking that question. So the question is, when will it be possible to buy eCredits directly from the eCredit wallet without connection to BlockTrade? We are working on that. So the way we would like to have this happen is essentially there will be a so-called on-ramp where directly from the e-wallet, you can just enter whatever amount or whatever way you would like to pay with and get your eCredits directly from the wallet into the wallet. So we are working on that. But once again, unfortunately, it is a topic where we do heavily rely on third parties, meaning other payment providers that we can integrate. And so I cannot give you an exact date, but it is something that we are working on. And I can also tell you we are working on it with quite high priority. So looking forward to having that going on, because I'm pretty sure it will make the whole thing even easier for you than it already is. Then scrolling through questions again, and I'm really impressed. The more questions I answer, the more there are. So really trying to get through there somehow and filter out some questions that have not been asked yet. So sorry if that takes a couple of seconds. Well, I'm not sure if this is a statement or a question. It's coming from Louis, and it says merchants are interested. I will take it as a question. What I can tell you is we have quite a backlog in merchants that would like to get onboarded. We have a lot of merchants onboarding every single day, and that is amazing to see. So whenever I'm looking to go into another country for business purposes, what I do first is I look at the map of eCredits and I see the merchants growing in a lot of countries day by day. This is amazing to see. And so if it's a question, I would answer that with yes. Currently, the interest that we see from merchants is amazing. Thank you to each and every one of you, especially to the merchants, and of course also the people and the ambassadors that make it possible to onboard these many merchants. This is really amazing to see for me, and a great effort of course the Ecrates team, but also especially the community. Thank you very much for that. And so now we are almost 10 minutes over the time. So I think what I will do is I will take 1 or 2 more questions and then we will wrap this up. So sorry if I couldn't answer yours. There is really a massive backlog of questions. That is a good question. That is something I would like to answer. I have posted that on the Telegram group recently, but would also like to answer it here. That's coming from Leuven. I have an open ticket for the activity that is not solved. Will it be resolved before the 30th of April? So we are trying our best. We have a massive backlog of tickets. So a lot of you guys are writing to us. Our customer service team is working very hard on getting them all answered. But rest assured, if your ticket is not being resolved before the 30th of April, that does not matter. It will still be taken into account as long as you wrote to us before the 30th of April, as long as you wrote to us before the airdrop ends, we will still treat it as if you were in the airdrop. So don't worry about that. Even if it takes a bit longer than that, we will still resolve the problem. No worries. We won't let you hanging. Then another interesting question coming from Ivana. When is Ecrates going to launch for USA? What will happen with the Ecredits that we have? So when we will launch in the USA is a question and a matter of regulation. So current regulation in the USA is, I would say, very hard to get into with certain projects. Certain projects meaning cryptocurrency projects, which we are. And of course, the SEC is frequently working on changing regulation and bringing out new, more proper, more clear regulations. And we are always following that. And it is great to see the effort that all of the regulators are putting into that. But of course, we cannot do something that is not 100% sure with current regulations. So it really depends on what the USA is going to do, what the SEC is going to do, on when we can launch and if we can launch in the USA. And then I will go for one last question. Trying to find one that I have not answered yet. Oh, there's okay. I will answer 2 questions. So I was asked for a link to the Telegram group. So essentially, this is an unofficial Telegram group, but I tend to read a bit there. But it's not an official support channel. So just want to emphasize this. But I do read a lot of the things that are ongoing there. So since I do not have Telegram open currently, so I don't get a lot of messages, maybe Nikita, who is also moderating this whole thing, so thanks to you, I will publish this question. Maybe you can answer that with a link to that unofficial Telegram group, so people can also have a look at that. And then the actual last question that I'm going to answer is coming from Goran. Do you have other projects that are joining on the Ecrates blockchain? And I can answer that with a clear yes. We are working on so many projects, on so many partnerships that would like to onboard with eCredits, that would like to do things with the technology and the ecosystem that we are building. It's absolutely amazing to see. And I will not announce anything that the projects themselves have not announced. And of course, they will announce it when they are ready. But what I can tell you is there are going to be very interesting projects on the Ecrates blockchain that you will also be able to see on the eWallet app. So look forward to that. And I will not make any announcements here. I will not give any promises, but things that we are, I would say, looking into, and maybe for some of them, we are already working on them. They are going into the direction of better integrations into some systems. For example, we're looking into point of sale systems, maybe, but also in the direction of tokenization of a variety of assets. Because in the end, what eCredits is going to be is not just a system that facilitates transactions at merchants, but what it is actually going to be is an ecosystem that allows you and everyone out there to manage their own wealth. It is going to be a system where you can handle everything that you would like to handle, where you can hold assets that are tokenized, where you can essentially store your cryptocurrencies in a non-custodial way, where you can essentially fulfill your everyday needs within one single app. And that is the vision behind it. And there will be a bit more of a detailed explanation of that, but the vision we have behind it is massive. I can tell you that much. And I'm so much looking forward to making this happen together with all of you. And it is going to happen. Over the past days, the demand that we've seen, the users that we are onboarding, the amount, the quality of the users is absolutely stunning. It is mind-blowing. And honestly, in my best predictions that I have had, I did not expect that many users. I did not expect that high quality of users. So the first couple of days, the last couple of days and weeks have been amazing to see. And if we continue this way together, I'm very convinced that what I said before, that we are going to have lunch break on the moon and then we'll continue to Mars, is not just a simple saying, but we are actually going to make it. And I think that was an amazing last question to answer. And once again, I very much appreciate you being here. I very much appreciate having the opportunity to talk to you in that informal living room-ish way. I do like that a lot. I feel like it brings a lot of the mood that is out there into the Ecrates office. And I hope it also gives you some insights into what we're doing, how we are working, and where we're going with Ecrates. So thank you very much to all of you for attending. The numbers that we are having is once again absolutely amazing. Very much appreciated. And I'm very much looking forward to the next AMA. Thank you. Have a good evening.